Hey, good Wednesday morning, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. We do have a small risk for some strong and severe storms this afternoon and this evening, but the risk overall is pretty low, I'll be honest with you, and it's really going to be confined to a couple areas, which I'll talk about. Let me show you the overall picture because this is a kind of an interesting setup. Our first real fall cold front of the season. You can see it setting up to our west. There it is. It's going to be moving in probably right around dinner time. So 5, 6, 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the evening. You could already see some strong storms developing in eastern Tennessee ahead of this system. But here's the thing that we're going to miss for maybe even more widespread severe weather. A lot of the energy, the low and the shear, is kind of moving up in this direction. So while the front is heading our way, most of the energy is going up in this general direction to the north and east. And for that reason, you will see that the severe weather risk today, while it is low across our area, there is a medium risk up here in parts of eastern Ohio, West Virginia, heading up. Let me turn off the satellite imagery here. Heading up towards the Pittsburgh area. So you see the medium risk up there, but you can see the low risk, which does include most of our area because I do expect a line of storms to come through this afternoon. So that's going to put most of the area in a risk for severe storm. So what type of severe weather are we going to see? Primarily a small chance for isolated gusty winds, but there is a low-end tornado risk. And this is a cool product that I've been looking at quite a bit. It takes a lot of different models and blends them together to create what's called the Natocast. It's a tornado forecast basically for today. And if you look at the scale at the bottom, it shows you percentages. The dark green is a 2%, light green is 3%. And you see that little area brown up in eastern Ohio. That's a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles. But if you look in North Carolina, you can see there is a little area just north of the Greensboro area up into Virginia where there's a 2% chance. And then this light gray area is actually a 1% chance. But most of the area is in this very light shade of green or a gray that you could barely tell, which is 0.1. So very small chance for an isolated tornado today. But let me show you how this unfolds because one of the things we're going to see today is if we don't get the clouds and showers to scour out, which means getting rid of this cloud cover, we're likely not going to see a whole lot of severe weather in our area, but we'll break down the timing here. So let's start the futurecast. We'll start here right at 10 a.m. We'll go through time. We'll go into the afternoon. Again, the key part of this is going to be if we see sunshine at all. And again, maybe just an hour or two or the thinning of the clouds, keep an eye for that. If you do see that, that can increase our severe potential. But this is going into about lunchtime, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock, we start to see the band move into the mountains. Probably not going to see a lot in the mountains because you're never going to get out of the cloud cover. But east of the mountains is where we're really concerned because there's likely going to be at least the potential that we'll see some sunshine here. And I really think I-77, which is here, this area right in here is the area I would be watching. So again, I think this is the area right in here. So I'm talking Concord to Salisbury to Albemarle north. That would be kind of the area. So this is right around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So again, 7 o'clock. Notice that the storms over us aren't bad, but look at this batch up here. Again, this is right around 7 p.m. That right there, that's the area that we're kind of watching. That would be an area I would be concerned about for maybe a stronger chance of a storm. Again, even there, it's low, but kind of shows you. We'll go through the evening hours. You can see overnight, the front clears us, and by 1 a.m., this cool, dry air is moving in, and it is going to feel amazing around here. So let's take a look at a couple other products just to kind of see, if we see any of those rotational tracks or anything else showing up. So one of the things I like to look at quite a bit is what we call thunderstorm fuel. You'll hear me use this term quite a bit, and it's basically just a term for what we call CAPE. And if you look carefully, the scale's on the left. This is in what we call joules per kilogram squared. The green area is around 1,000. So there are some pockets of green and even some yellow showing up here. And again, this is going into about the 2 to 3 o'clock hour. We go into the evening, but not off the charts until you get east of us. So again, this is the area of greatest concern right there that we probably have the highest chance, at least the fuel for these storms to develop into the afternoon hours. And I really think it's going to be that 4, 5, 6 o'clock time frame that we see the potential for that to develop. So let's look at that updraft helicity, which is one of those parameters we look at quite a bit. I'll back this up. And again, Updraft Helicity is just rotation within the storm. So again, you don't see a whole lot here until about right here. So this is right around 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. So again, remember that same area I've been highlighting and we've seen in several of the guidance right in here. This is the area that seems to be the spot. If we're going to see a storm rotate, it's going to be up in there. And again, you see how that develops. This is right around, let me back this up. So this is right around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So, and again, let's go back. Remember, right here, this is the Natocast, same area. So that's kind of the area we'll be watching for later this afternoon. So again, quick little loop here. This is an 18-hour loop. Shows you the future cast going forward. That time frame in the evening will be the time frame we watch. And if there's an area of greatest concern today, it's going to be right in here. So again, let's highlight this right in here. This will be the area we watch. And again, the time frame, right around, I'd say 6 to 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So it's going to be in the evening hours, not overnight, not in the middle of the day, but right during the evening hours. So there should be plenty of time if there are warnings to give you a heads up. And again, the overall risk is low. Remember, this is an isolated risk, not a widespread risk. Of course, any updates throughout the afternoon, I will tell you. And we got to get excited because behind this front, once it moves through, cool air will be rushing into the Carolinas. It is going to feel good by the end of the week.